The Santa Fe Trail with regard to Kansas City is significant from the 1820s to the 1850s. But during the early part of that period, it was Westport, which was an entirely separate little community that kind of took over, and it's the first kind of cutoff from independence because it was 15 miles closer, sitting right almost on the border of Indian Territory at that time. So it was really the jumping off place.
A professor of history who now teaches at Metropolitan Community College, Bill Worley grew up in eastern New Mexico before moving to Kansas City. He explains how the area of town known as Westport actually predates the city itself.
Westport dates from the 1830s. The original survey was by John Calvin McCoy, who was the son of a Baptist missionary who had established a mission with the Shawnee in Indian Territory directly to the west. And then McCoy, at a later time, in the 1840s, will become involved with the founding of the town of Kansas, which becomes then ultimately the city of Kansas by 1853, and that gets turned around to be Kansas City. But Westport was definitely a trading center, and indeed the earliest designation of Kansas City was more as Westport Landing. In other words, is the point where goods from the river would be offloaded and just like with Independence, then run up the hill to Westport. It was you had to get up the bluffs, and then you had to cross what was known as OK Creek, which is where today's Union Station in Kansas City is located. So there was an up and a down and then another up to get all the way to Westport itself.
Since Westport itself is located on a main thoroughfare and the traffic noise can be significant, I met Bill Worley several miles to the south in a quiet neighborhood known as New Santa Fe, which has its own connection to the Santa Fe Trail.
There were a variety of routes utilized across Jackson County from Independence, but then again, especially as we got to the 1850s, a lot of the trade went directly from Westport Landing, or what had become by that time the town or city of Kansas, to cross to the southwest, trying to avoid the Kansas River, and basically following Turkey Creek out. That was one route. Then there was the Westport route that tended to go straight west to the Shawnee Methodist Mission and then cut southwest from there. And then this route, which was always tied more to Independence than it ever was to either Westport or Kansas City, this was more the southerly route. But New Santa Fe was not ever really a town. It was just a little, because it was immediately on the border. 1 block west of us is Kansas. But at that time, it was Indian Territory. So it was a little cluster of farmhouses and whatnot at that point. And the cemetery that lies here at this point is mostly remembering that.